Kamusta po kayo? Saan po yung camera ng iyon sa taas? Okay, alright. Okay. Hello po sa mga nanonood sa bahay kasi marami ho nanonood sa bahay. Minsan pag nanonood ka sa bahay at yung speaker ay kinakausap lang yung andito, nagtatampo sila. Kaya ho, importante no, na naramdaman na para sa inyo ding ito. Kaya palagpakan po natin sila yun nasa bahay. Ibig sabihin, masunurin po sila. Hindi pwede lumabas, hindi lumalabas, pero nanonood. Tayo naman, extra blessed ang ibig sabihin dahil pinapayagan na andito po tayo ngayon. So, pag-uusapang itong mission gamit ang social media. Kasi I will concentrate on social media. Marami hong media na pwedeng gamitin for mission. Mayroon po tayong printed, mayroon po tayong radyo, mayroon po tayong TV at sanay po tayo doon. But itong lately, itong mga ilang taon, sumisikat isang bagong paraan ng social media at ito ang tawag cyber mission. Yung mission na gamit ang media na nakabase sa internet. So ito po ay pinaka-famous sa ating is Facebook, but marami pang iba. Mayroon tayong Instagram, mayroon po tayong ngayon TikTok, mayroon po tayong mga webpage at marami pang iba. I want to focus particularly dito po sa larangan na ito. Dahil sa simbahan, nakaroon ng malaking pagbabago, mga 4 o 5 years papunta ngayon from what it used to be called multimedia ministry. Kaya ho, hinanap ko sa baul itong t-shirt na ito. Kaya ho, itong suot ko. Ito po yung unang nung nagbuo ng multimedia ministry ng Lourdes, from multimedia ministry to social communication ministry. This a big difference. Iyon ang gusto kong bigyan diin ngayon. So, paano ito? Sana ko tama? Hindi. Teka. Ay. Okay. Ayun. Okay. Mission to the world, no? Mission to the world of social media. And I want to share the Almusalita experience of Our Lady of Lourdes Parish. Kasi doon po nagsimula, ipinanganak ang Almusalita. Sa ganon, sa akin sharing, I will be sharing in 3 levels. In the title already, 3 levels. Number 1 is mission to the world. And I think that's the big difference ng social media is yung audience mo ay ang buong mundo. Yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Dahil maraming sa gumagalaw sa social media, hindi na gets. Kaya ang ginagawa ay para halimbawa para sa parokya nila. Pero hindi naiintindihan na pagdating sa social media, wala kang parokya lang. Dahil biglang yung prepare mo para sa parokya mo, yun nanonood sa Saudi, sa Hong Kong, sa Zamboanga, sa Baguio. Biglang magulat, saan sumulpot itong mga ito? Di ko parishioners. Kasi social media, in essence, is for the world. It's not geographical. So, I want to share that. And then, paanong ipinanganak ang Almusalita, that is a page that became for the cyber world. And then, paano ito nagsimula sa isang parokya ng Lourdes. So, i-check natin yung world, yung diocesan level at saka yung ating parish level. Yun po yung 3 level na i-discuss po natin. Some introductory notes. Yan. Number 1, you can use social media as a tool for your parish, for your ministry, or you can use it to reach the world. That is why sa umpisa, multimedia ang tawag sa ministry. Nung una, ang tingin sa multimedia ministry is, sila po yung gagawa ng mga PowerPoints. Sila po ang magpre-prepare ng tarpaulin. Welcome, Bishop Gaa. Fiesta 2019. So, sinong gagawa noon? Multimedia ministry. Gawa tayo ng fiesta t-shirt. Sino ang utusan nating multimedia ministry? Ang dating noon is, yung gumagamit ng computer, yun po yung ministry na multimedia. At ang gagawa nila is, gagamitin yung computer para ma-enhance ang ibang ministry. So, para maging mas maayos yung simba, i-play natin sa screen yung sagot, o yung songs, o yung design ng tarpaulin. That's one way. Use social media bilang secretariat. Nung sinaunang panahon ng social media, ang trabaho nila is to cover the events. So, meron tayong Diocesan Pentecost. Ang gagawa ng social media, ng multimedia ministry, take pictures ng nangyari para ipopost. Documentation, videography, tarpaulin printing, that was the main focus of multimedia ministry. But this developed into social communication ministry, a very different approach. Ngayon, ang audience mo ay hindi yung parokya mo, kundi ang buong mundo. At yung gagawin mo is not to document, but to evangelize. Hindi ka kukuha ng picture para ipakita mo ang ganda ng prosesyon, kundi gagawa ng, halimbawa, debosyon kay Inandesay, for example. Debosyon kay Inandesay. Yung multimedia approach is, kukuha ka ng pictures ng debosyon, gagawa ka ng estampita, mag-print ka ng t-shirt, ipapublish yung pictures. Pag yun tingin is social communication ministry, the approach is paanong i-promote ang devotion kay Inandesay into the cyber world. Paanong ipalaganap? Paanong itong ipakilala sa mga hindi alam? So yung una is parang secretary ka lang. Tagakuha ng picture, tagagawa ng PowerPoint. Yung isang approach is paanong itong ipahayag sa buong mundo. So yun ang first na gusto ko sanang maging malinaw sa ating na ang cyber mission is not about being secretary of other ministries. Ang cyber mission is about being a missionary in a new dimension. That dimension is not geographical. Hindi po tulad ng parokya mo o tulad ng grupo mo. That dimension is lahat ng gumagamit ng social media. Yan ang audience mo. Yan ang target mo. Yan ang nasa isip mo. Yan ang nasa puso mo. Kaya very important that change in mentality, I think, it's what brought social communication into what is now, that is a ministry that is outwards, palabas. Dati paloob siya. Documenting, making PowerPoints, printing t-shirt, making design, making posters. Paloob. Now, palabas siya. The focus is not the parish, the focus is the world. Kapag yung ministry ng parokya ay nagfo-focus sa parokya, walang mangyayari. So, magmimisa ka online, yung manonood ay 10, 20, Sa 20 na yan, kasama po yung nanay at saka yung lola nagbibideo. Pero kung ito'y palabas, parami ng parami. You can see the growth in reaching. So, the big difference is paloob o palabas. And I think that's what happened to this ministry. You realize that you are an instrument, you use technology to reach the world. Yung audience, hindi po yung parokya, yung audience, ang buong mundo. Number 2, when you are sent to a different country, in this world of social media, you need to be enculturated. You need to learn the language, to love the place, to be committed. Dayuhan po ako. Nung dumating ako sa Pilipinas, ang pinaka-unang hamon, pinaka-mahalagang hamon is matuto managalog. Mahirap po yun. At yun natanto ko sa aking pag-aaral ng Tagalog is, nakapag-Tagalog lang ako kapag minahal ko ang Pilipinas. Mauna sa puso, aapaw sa bibig. Hindi mo makuha dito sa brain. Pwede sa brain malinaw. Alam nyo na, in 2006, I was assigned in South Korea. Nag-aral ako ng Koreano, 1 taon sa university. If I compare kung gaanong kalalim ang pag-aaral ko ng Koreano at ng Tagalog, 10 beses mas nag-aral ako ng Koreano kaysa Tagalog. Nakapagsalita ba ako ng Koreano? Halos wala. Very little. Bakit? Hindi pumasok sa puso. Hindi ko minahal. I tried but hindi ko minahal. Ano nangyari sa Pilipinas? Minahal ko ang kultura, minahal ko yung food. But nung una, hindi ko minahal ang food. Sa amin walang kanin. Tapos yung kanin dito walang oil, walang asin, wala. Parang kumakain ka ng styrofoam. Yung dating sa akin nung una. Tapos yung pagkain Pinoy, very sweet. Ngayon, mahal na mahal ko yung spaghetti ng Jollibee. But nung una, talagang gusto kong itapon sa basurahan kasi ang tamis. It's a process hanggang sa minahal mo. Pag minahal mo yung music at minahal mo yung pagkain at minahal mo yung kasaysayan at minahal mo yung tao, lahat minahal ko puwera sa mga politiko yun. Hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa kaya. Pag minahal mo lahat, lalabas ang language. Ganyan din po yung social media. Hindi ka pwede maging evangelizer in social media kung ang tingin mo sa Facebook is a waste of time. Pag yung tingin mo, yung Facebook na yan, walang kwenta yan, waste of time. Yung Instagram na yan, payabangan ng picture. Kung ganyan ang tingin mo, hindi mo magamit. Dahil hindi mo mamahaling, ang lalabas sa'yo, hindi maiintindihan ng kausap. Dahil ikaw mismo hindi mo minahal. It's a language. Social media is a language. You need to love it in order to speak it. At kapag minahal mo at ginagamit mo, makapag-communicate ka. Bakit ko sinasabing ito? Kapag kayo'y mga kabataan na kausap ko, hindi ko pwede ko i-delete ito. No need. Yung mga kabataan ipinanganak na may social media at minahal ang social media. Pero yung kausap ko ngayon, hindi naman kabataan. Medyo gurang ng konti, Tulad ko, na hindi po tayo ipinanganak na walang internet nung panahon nating. Di ba? Walang cellphone nung panahon nating. Di ba? Ako hanggang sa natapos yung college, typewriter yung mga term papers ko, pati yung thesis, typewriter. So yung internet nagsimula nung ako'y pari na. At yung tingin ko noon, nung lumabas ang cellphone, bawal sa seminaryo. Pag hinuli ka, kick out. So, anong tingin ko nung una, nung batang pare ako, yung internet, waste of time. Facebook, gamit ni Satanas para tayo ay liligawin sa tamang landas. That was my frame, that was my point of view. Kaya ho, sa maraming sa ating madre, pare, at mga lay leaders, we need to do the process of conversion to love. Now, when you love Facebook, you can use it for evangelization. But if you hate Facebook, kailangan hindi mo magamit for a good purpose. Because until you embrace, you cannot use it well. Gets nyo yan? For the young people, it doesn't make sense. Para sa mga may edad, it makes sense. Kasi we experience this transformation. Let me tell you one story. How did I convert to social media? May kaibigan na kumparing Jesuita noon, si Father Jack Carroll. Baka kilala nyo. He's a very holy man. He died already. Very old. When I went to visit him, he was in the infirmary, 80 plus, mga 82 or 83 years old. Nagko-computer, pumasok ko sa kwarto, nag-laptop. So sabi ko, Father, anong ginagawa niya? Sabi niya, hindi, pinag-aralan ko itong social media. That was in 2007, I think, 2008. Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, are you trying to use Facebook? Tapos tumawa siya na malakas. Sabi niya, ano ka ba? Matagal na nag-Facebook ako. I'm trying to learn Instagram. Yung time na yan, bago ang Instagram. Ako, batang pare ako, I was 30 plus. Wala akong Facebook noon dahil feeling ko waste of time. No idea about Instagram. So nagulat ako itong matanda na nag-Instagram. Tinanong ko, bakit? Why are you using your time trying to learn Instagram at the age 80 plus? Tumingin siya sa akin, sabi niya, ano ka ba, Luciano? Misyonero tayo. Ang misyonero, kung nasaan ang tao, andoon ang misyonero. And I will never forget that day kasi on that same day, pag uwi ko, I was assigning Holy Trinity. Kinausap ko yung mga youth, tulungan nyo ako mag-open ng Facebook account. That's when I opened my Facebook account. Dahil nahiya ako sa matandang pare na nagsabi sa akin, it's not a waste of time. It's a tool for mission. Change ng pananaw. Nagbago ho yung pananaw ko. And then I realized, sa likod ng bawat Facebook page, may tao. How can I hate Facebook? Facebook ay tao. Sa likod ng bawat profile, may tao. Pwede niyang ipeke ang picture. Pag nakita mo ang picture, ang kinis ng mukha. Pag nakita mo yung totoo, parang anyari, no? May mga ganon, may mga panluloko sa picture. Maraming pwede mong lokohin. But there is a person at the back. Always, there is a person. That person may kailangan, may desire, at hinahanap ang Diyos. So, how can I, a missionary, hate a place where so many people live? So yun, that's the change in mind. Number 3, the language and the place are the context, but the gospel is the content of evangelization. Ito po yung pangatlo, very important. Sa social media, hindi po mahalaga na tayo ay pumunta sa social media lang, kundi pumunta sa social media with a message. With a message. Kaya, wala akong problema na okay na gumagalaw ako? Okay naman, no? Sa camera, okay ba? Okay. Wala akong problema, for example, na may mga pare, may mga madre na nagti-TikTok. Wala akong problema doon. But my point is, if you go to TikTok, go as a missionary. Bring a content. It's not important to go. Go with something. Hindi kailangan ng TikTok ang akin sayaw. I don't have much to contribute sa larangan ng pagsayaw. Hindi naman kailangan ako mag-TikTok para makita ng tao, uy, cool, sumasayaw si Father. I think I'm in TikTok. Nag-TikTok ako. But hindi ako sumasayaw. Ang nagdadala is content. So for example, in TikTok, nagsimula ako mag-TikTok itong pandemya. Ang nilalaman ng TikTok ko is, number 1 is called Positives. Tips how to be positive sa pandemyang ito na tayong lahat ay nalulungkutan, nabibigatan. So, how can we be positive in a negative environment? Yun po yung unang content. Yung pangalawang content na in-upload ko is tips for a meaningful Lent. Nung panahon ng Kwaresma, 40 tips how to live a good Lent. I think importante when you go to social media is, ano ang sasabihin doon? Anong gagawin mo doon? Otherwise, there is no point in just going there. We go as a missionary. So you don't go just to go. You go with a mission. So the gospel is very important. Yung content of evangelization. And then number 4, like in any other evangelization in context, the first question should be, what do they need? Marami sa mga content ay manggagaling sa pangangailangan ng tao. For example, nabanggit ni Kuya June, yung last project of the SOCOM ng diocese is called ePray. Ito po isang platform kung saan yung mga COVID patients pwede mag-request ng prayer and a priest will call them and pray over them. Ito ipinanganak ng pangangailangan. Maraming tao nagsabi, Father, please pray for my auntie na naka-COVID. Kaso lang hindi ho pwedeng puntahan dahil bawal po sa ospital. So, nung nakita po namin na maraming gusto magpa-pray over, but the priests are not allowed into hospitals, ICU, isolation facilities, malaking need, but there is no way to get in, doon pong ipinanganak yung ePray. Let's use social media to reach these people that are in isolation. So, importante ho sa social mission, sa cyber mission, ano ang pangangailangan ng tao? Mahirap. Natanggal yata. Okay. Okay ba? Yung sounds? Okay. So, if you are going to work in cyber mission, I think yung importante question is, ano ang kailangan? Ano ang pwedeng gawin? Ano ang kailangan ng tao? 4 years ago, nagsimula kami sa Almusalita online masses. Yung ngayong usong-uso, but noon hindi po uso ang online masses. But nagsimula kami dahil yung mga OFWs ang nag-request. Sabi nila, Father, wala kami misa dito sa Saudi. Sana mag-online mass po kayo. Nung natanggap ko ang request, sabi ko, ano ba itong online mass? Hindi ko alam noon. Tapos sabi ng mga kasama ko sa team, pwede ho yung Facebook Live. So tinanong ko, paano yun? So in-explain sa akin how Facebook Live works. And so we started online masses way before the pandemic dahil sa pangangailangan. Yung tao ang nagsabi, Father, wala kaming mass dito sa Saudi o nasa barko po kami, wala kasamang pare, but may internet. Sana kung may misa online, magandang bagay po yan. Doon po nagsimula. Doon po nagsimula. Nakaroon po kami, for example, yung kami ni Monsi, yung collaborations on fundamental theology. Kung napanood ninyo, kami ni Bishop Gaa on spirituality. Pangangailangan ng tao yan. Noong nag-recollection kami ni Bishop Gaa sa Radyo Veritas, maraming tao nag-message sa Radyo Veritas, sana Bishop, tuloy-tuloy po itong conversations on spirituality. So yung tao po nag-request, nakita ang pangangailangan. Sabi ng Radyo Veritas, hindi po pwede kasi taken yung oras na yan. May commercial, may nagbabayad na hindi po pwede. So sabi namin ni Bishop, gawin nating online. Mura, madali, online. So yun, more than 1 year still going on. Every Thursday, conversations on spirituality. If you listen, there are a lot of needs out there. For example, ang kukonti, I cannot imagine kung mayroon kang anak na maliliit, wala namang available na catechism on social media. Very little. Very little. So if someone focus on doing things for kids, super helpful. For teenagers, very little content for teenagers. Kung mayroong cyber missionary na mag-focus sa mga teenagers, and pag teenagers, hindi na pwede Facebook. Yung mga teenagers are all in TikTok. So it has to be a different platform. You have to go into Kumu or TikTok. These are another kind of platforms. Now, this is my advice. What is the need in your ministry? What is the need in your parish? What is the need in your people? And that will inspire the content. Yun po mag-i-inspire kung anong i-produce. Okay, some pastoral orientations. Very simple things. Number 1, do not be afraid to start something new. Mahalaga po ito eh. Sa social media, hindi pwede na tayo ay mag-copy-paste o share. Kailangan mag-create. Create new content. Create all the time. There is so much to do and there is so little being done in social media pagdating sa evangelization. We need to create content. For example, If we have a seminar, if you do it Zoom, kayo lang ang a-attend. If you do it live, dadami ang a-attend. If you promote it asking the people to share and tag others, times 3, times 4 ang a-attend. So for every activity, we have to think, how are we going to plan it? How are we going to do it? For example, I experienced this. During ECQ, nagmimisa ako mag-isa sa kwarto, sa bahay ko, mag-isa. Nakaupo ako at andito ang cellphone. Walang tao sa bahay ko, I live alone. So, parang kausap ko ang cellphone kasi walang ibang tao. Ang misa ko, umabot 2,500, 3,000 views every day. Then, tapos ng ECQ, nagmisa ko from Kristong Hari. May parishioners. Ang tinitingnan ko, yung parishioners. Tulad nyo. Nakalimutan ko na may camera, na may nanonood. Anong nangyari? Yung nanonood ng misa, 400, 500. Pag mag-isa at kausap ko sila, 2,000 to 3,000. Pag sila ay parang pandagdag lang, parang naninilib lang, parang hindi sila kausap, nawawala. And that's something that happens in social media. The other person has to interact with you, and you have to interact with the other person. You have to create new content. You have to engage the people. Otherwise, walang nangyari. Kaya, for example, for our collaboration, for example, on fundamental theology or canon law with Father Jigs or spirituality with Bishop Gaa, nung una, gusto nila na i-record. But tumutol ako. Kasi kapag recorded, walang interaction. Kailangan habang nag-uusap ka, may tanong papasok sa internet, babasahin mo, sasagutin mo. So the person in the other side feels, kasama ko sila sa usapan. To make it very simple, internet, cyber mission, social media is not television. Kapag TV, walang interaction. Hindi mo kinakausap si Boy Abunda, hindi mo kinakausap si Karen Davila, hindi mo kinakausap, pinanood mo. In social media, kinakausap mo si Father, kinakausap mo si Sister, dahil nagtanong ka, nag-reply siya. Nag-comment siya, nag-share siya. Kung nawala yung interaction, nawala ang bisa ng social media. Kaya nung nagbigay po kami ng seminar for priests, isa sa mga sekreto ng online mass is, kausapin mo sila. Sila, hindi lang kayo. Dahil sila yan dyan, at kasama din po sila. Let me share one experience, very touching for me. During Holy Week, I asked the people, I was alone in my room dahil na-quarantine ako noon. So, mag-isa talaga ako, Holy Week. So, during Holy Thursday, paano ako maghuhugas ng paa? Mag-isa ako. So, kanino kong hugasan ng paa? Aso ko. So, ang sabi ko sa mga tao ay ganito, pagdating ng paghuhugas ng paa, kayo sa bahay, maghuhugasan ng mga paa. Yung tatay, yung padre de pamilya, siya po yung katuwang ko sa tahanan nyo. Tatay, ikaw maghugas ng paa ng iyong pamilya. And then I asked the family, can you send me a picture? I was so touched by the pictures of the families crying, where maraming nagsabi, first time si tatay nagsimba kasama namin. O nakaka-touch yung papa naming matanda na lumuhod at hinugasan kami ng paa. Nag-iiyakan sila sa pamilya. Very touching. Interactive. So you can do cyber mission. You can use social media as television, manood, or you can use interactive. Yung lamang ng social media is always interactive. Ang problema sa ating mga evangelization programs, minsan nawawala yung interaction. And we just do it like if we are doing television. Kaya I think that's the most important tip. Don't be afraid to start something new. You need to do new content. Number 2, be natural, not produce. There is a need for authenticity. Lalo sa mga young people, sa mga millennials, yung hinahanap yung authenticity. Yung kung sa television kasi, you need production. For television, it's very important yung production. Yung background, maganda, so ipapagandahin mo pa yung background. Magme-makeup, di ba, sa television, kahit i-interviewin ka, magme-makeup para yung ilaw, and then may teleprompter, sinusundan po yung binabasa. That's television. In social media, is the opposite. It has to be very natural. Pag masyadong pinakhandaan yung background, etc., bumababa yung mga views. Social media is like yung behind the camera. Social media is yung natural. Kung anong lengguwahe ng araw-araw, yun na yun. Interaction, mistakes are allowed. It has to be very natural, not prepared. Yun ang kagandahan. Kasi you don't need a big preparation team. You don't need a very expensive equipment. Can be done very simple, very cheap, and very efficiently. Number 3, short, simple, and natural. These are guiding words. Short. Mga videos nating, mga 2 minutes. Otherwise, hindi pinapanood. TikTok, mga 30 seconds. So, how can you say something meaningful in 30 seconds? Yun ang challenge. You have to think. You have to compress. You have to say what is important. But has to be very short, simple, and natural. Number 4, you need to post at least 4 times a day so that the page will be alive. Isang problema ng mga parokya nating minsan nagpo-post ng ang tagal-tagal. So you check yung post ng parokya, huling post, araw ng pagkabuhay. 5 weeks ago. Wala na. Nobody will follow. You need to post a lot, at least 4 times a day, to make your page appear so yung mga tao na sumusunod sa inyo ay Makikita araw-araw and then hahanapin yung content. Kaya ho is time, challenging yan eh. Challenging. But if you take it as a mission, it's very important. Nung nagsimula kami sa Almusalita, we used to post mga twice a day. Then after 1 year, we decide, let's go crazy. Let's post 24 times a day. And then we make a schedule. Ano po yung 24 na yan? Morning prayer, readings of the day, saint of the day, video comment of the gospel, transcript of the video, online sharing, quotable quotes, evening prayer, night prayer, etc. etc. Nung nag-24 times ang post, nag-times 3 yung followers and yung reach. Ibig sabihin, yung tao na nanonood araw-araw, na times 3. And that's very important because it makes your page visible. Visible. Halimbawa, kung kayo po ay, kung kayo ay nagfa-follow sa, let's say, sa ABS-CBN or sa whatever, GMA, makikita mo na every time na nag-open ka ng Facebook, lalabas yon. Because they are posting all the time. Mga few times per hour. Ang nangyari noon, more and more people are watching. And kapag marami ang nagwo-watch, dumadami ang nagsishare. Pag marami nagsishare, lumalawag yung reach. Ibig sabihin, yung dami ng mga tao na nakakakita ng post na yan. Yun po yung hinahanap natin, yung reach. Because when you post, at marami pong nadaanan nitong post na ito, yan po yung possibility of evangelization. Meaning to say, hindi lang yung followers mo ang makakakita, kundi sa pamagitan ng reach, you are venturing outside your own capture market. You are going outside the aquarium. Nangingisda ka na sa open sea. Kasi pag yung post mo ay paminsan-minsan, ang makakakita lang yung kasama mo sa page. So hindi ka ma-reach out. Naintindihan niyo ito? This is a very important concept, the reach. So ang nangyari sa reach is kapag nakita mo at sinare mo, lahat ng contacts mo ay dadaan sa Facebook page nila. So sa dami po na nadaanan, dadami ang manonood. So yun, that's a very important concept. You have to really post a lot of times. Number 5, may isang bagay sa Facebook na napakaganda at mura. And these are called analytics. Yung analytics, isang function po yan ng Facebook page mo. Pag pinindot mo yan, ang lalabas doon is sino-sino nanonood ng page mo. Anong edad, anong kasarian, saan bansa, saan lungsod, ano oras ang pinakamaraming nanonood, ano oras ang pinakakonti ang nanonood. Very important ito for planning. Pag ikaw'y nagplaplano at sinasabi ng Facebook mo, karamihan ng nanonood is 9 to 11 in the evening, ano oras ka dapat mag-post? 9 to 11 in the evening or 3 in the afternoon? This is a very common mistake. So, tayo ay nagpo-post sa oras na convenient sa ating, but yung audience, wala noon. So, you are posting in a time na walang nanonood. Sinasabi na Facebook sa'yo, sa pamamagitan ng analytics na ito. Sinasabi niya, sa oras na yan, walang nanonood sa Facebook page mo. But sa oras na ito, maraming nanonood sa Facebook page mo. So automatically, you are having an opportunity. Sinasabi doon, tapos, sinasabi ding anong edad. Halimbawa, nangyari ito sa amin sa Almusalita. Nag-prepare kami ng program para sa mga millennials. Yung target ng program, millennials. Nung chinek namin yung analytics, puro mga gurang. Mga matatandang babae. Kasi you can identify ang kasarian at ang edad. So nung nakita namin, nag-discuss ngayon, anong gagawin natin? Either i-adjust yung content sa edad. Huwag natin pag-uusapan yung pang teenager. Kung yung audience mo ay 40 to 60 years old. So, these are a different kind of people. Mga nanay, mga lola, mga nanay na may anak na teenager. So, it's a different audience. So, it's either you adjust yung theme or papalitan mo yung approach para talagang matarget yung kabataan na gusto mong itarget. Kaya very important po yung analytics. Doon sa analytics, malalaman mo kung sino, anong edad, anong oras, at pati anong gamit niya sa panonood sa iyo. Kung ginagamit niya ang kanyang desktop, ibig sabihin at home or at work. Pag ginagamit yung mobile, ibig sabihin on the go. Pag ginagamit yung mobile, yung post mo dapat very short. Kasi yung tao, walang oras on the go eh. Pag ginagamit yung desktop, pwede mong pahabain. You can put a 45-minute talk. Dahil nasa bahay yun, pwede manood. Pero pag gamit yung cellphone niya, hindi mo pwede yung 45 minutes, walang silbi nun eh. After 2 minutes, papatayin niya. Kasi madre-drain yung battery. Very important yung analytics na yan. Nung nasa Lourdes ako, chinek namin sa Almusalita, anong mga top 10 cities ng followers. Top 1, Quezon City. Top 2, Hong Kong. Top 3, UAE. Top 4, New York. Top 5, Caloocan. Nasa Caloocan ako noon. So, nung nag-meeting kami, sabi namin, there is something wrong. Caloocan dapat nasa taas. Kasi nasa Caloocan tayo eh. And so, because we saw it, we crafted a program para sa Caloocan na makakakuha ng interes, ng oras, ng topic, ng taga-Caloocan. Ang nangyari, the following year, nung chinek mo yung statistics, number 1, Quezon City, number 2, Caloocan. Okay, that's it. Tama po yun. That's the Diocese of Novaliches. So, when you check your analytics, very important po yan. For example, we are in Novaliches. Pag chinek mo yung analytics, yung karamihan na nanonood sa'yo sa Bicol, may problema. May problema, may maganda. So maganda, marami kang followers from Bicol. But may problema. Bakit sa sarili mong diocese wala? So you have to rethink yung approach. Number 6, take it seriously. Seriously as a ministry. Social communication is as important as a lay minister, is as important as a catechist, is as important as apostolado ng panalangin, it is an important ministry in the church. Hindi po gawi. It's not a hobby. It's a ministry. It's not a hobby. Hindi po pwede kapag may gana lang. Hindi po pwede kung kailang naisip lang. If you take it as a mission, not as a hobby. Commitment. Number 7, you need targets and strategies. Kailangan magplano. When you go into social media, plan. Sinong itatarget mo? Ano ang content? Ano ang hinahanap mo? How many followers do you want to have among, halimbawa, young people or families ng mga convicts, for example, no? So mayroon tayo o for example, gusto mong i-target mo yung mga 4Ps beneficiaries. So you have to need a target. So anong target audience? Ano ang content? Ilang ang followers na gusto mong i-target for this year, for this 6 months, and you need to strategize. And finally, and I think this is one of the most important, is try to bridge from virtual to real. Kasi naranasan po nating lahat ito ngayon, no? Sawan-sawa po tayo na hindi po tayo nakikita ng harap-harap. Halimbawa, ngayon, araw na ito, it could have been from home. Pwede ako magbigay ng talk na ito sa kwarto ko, tapos lahat kayo manonood sa computer nyo. Pero ibang-iba ito yung face-to-face interaction. So ingat, kasi dahil sa pandemya, pwede tayo masyadong napunta sa virtual world na nakalimutan ang real world. At ang kailangan is contact. Sabi ni Pope Francis, we need contact, not only connection. Connection is one level, but contact is a different level. Pag nakausap kita sa phone, that's one way of contacting you. Pag tayo ay lumabas at mag-coffee, magkwentuhan, that's a very different level. Now, we need to bridge that gap. We mission in the virtual world, but we need to bring people to the real world. So from virtual to real, that is the challenge ng evangelization. Okay? And with that, I end my presentation, and we will have time for questions and answer. But let me encourage you, gamitin po natin ang social media for evangelization. If we don't use, a lot of bad people will use it. Ang daming fake news, ang daming violence, ang daming bad news in social media. And so let's use the virtual world for evangelization. It is an opportunity and it is a privilege. And it is simple and it is meaningful. So let's make the Word of God viral. Salamat po.